Hey, I'm not upstairs. There's no fancy light. I haven't. Well, I don't shave anyway. I'm not wearing a nice shirt. No fucking tie, and my lights my lights aren't even on. But I needed to know if I could stream downstairs. It's cold as I would say witch's nipple. We've been over this. I think witch's nipples are probably not that bad. I would think self-righteous nipples would be probably the coldest kind of nipples. Anyone who has an objective theory of what is real, and anyone who's outside of that is wrong. I think those nipples would probably be the coldest. We've been over this, but it's cold. The first snow hit today, there's my stairs, right there. There's some molding on my. How do I move around here? There they are. I'm assuming that you guys can hear me. It doesn't look like I'm muted. I've really kind of embarrassed a little bit about yesterday, but I like the vitriol that doing live streams does. It looks like you guys can hear me because you're typing nipple, and unless all of you can read lips, yeah, there we go. So, if the audio sucks, let me know though. I don't really want to put. You're looking at my writing desk. I don't really want to put all my shit here. And if I can't do these spontaneous live streams like this, it's cool. Well, I'll just say it for show. I could have saved it for today. But I got all riled up because, well, first of all, I spent 18 minutes talking with no sound. And then someone made a comment. They're like, I don't think you guys should trust this guy. And I get those all the time, and I always encourage that. I don't prune my lips is my motto, and I don't think you should trust me. But, man, when we talk about witness, and you really think about what that is, in a way, that guy's telling you that you should blindly trust others, that you should extend that trust to people, but that I'm one that should not. And if we could flip the world, I would rather us all have a commodity, an economy, where we earn each other's trust. In fact, I think that we cheapen it. We're putting lipstick on a pig and putting it out on the street by giving blind trust. And if you really start to break it down, blind trust is usury. You were loaning your worship to someone who hasn't earned it. Yeah, oh, he just said worship. Yeah. Yeah, to trust is to worship. Felt it, Stephen. I felt it. Between two towers. I felt the decimal. I felt the prana boost just then. It's a perfect example. That's witness calcified into gold. Stephen converted his witness into gold and placed it in such a way to where it was unavoidably seen and witnessed by all. Yes, Tricky Woo. Exactly. But that trust itself, my friends, is a worship. And if you're giving it to someone and they haven't actually earned it or paid for it, you're practicing usury. You're the one who's charging interest to somebody in your mind for blindly trusting them. I don't like me looking like this, but I'm gonna not look at myself and just focus on the chat. But this is all good vitriol. Talking in silence for 18 minutes, watching people publicly not trust me, being shunned in some ways by certain things. All of these things are really good vitriol for me. And I wouldn't have those anywhere else if I wasn't subjecting myself to this. And so it's every bit of this is constructive. But that constructive nature that I see about it is purely based on the alchemy that I'm spitting out as I process all of these feelings, as I process everything that's going on. Your trust, You should be giving to those that make you feel good for giving it. And I don't know why blind trust would feel good to anybody. I know that we have this notion that a glory hole is probably a fabulous thing, and that if any of us could stick our appendage into this hole, an anonymous person would pleasure that. And I'm here to tell you, no, I haven't tried it, and maybe I'm being judgmental, but I'm here to tell you that I don't know if I would find that to be a deeper kind of love. I think that it would be fascinating, because if I was to stick my junk into a hole, the moment I did that, I am completely stripped, because why are we talking? I'm going to go for it, y'all. My electric field has been zipped down, and in my pure rawness, I am pure vulnerability. And by sticking that pure raw vulnerability into the hole, that would create an opening in me, a vitriol in me even, a transmutation in me that I would not be able to replicate on my own. And constructively, I think that some of you should probably go stick your junk into a glory hole, now that I'm thinking about it, because that experience would probably unzip you in certain ways that you haven't had. But I would think, nay, I feel certain that by doing that, you would also be forever spoiled, because this is important, because your deeper self has no trust in you anymore. So you're unleashing your vulnerability, you're sacrificing that inner trust of yourself for this other experience. And you get to decide if that's right or wrong. You get to decide, is the glory hole for me? And I would think that as long as you were fully, passionately present with your consent and in that moment, that you would end up learning so much from that experience that I don't want to put a judgment on it. So this whole example of a glory hole is just not gonna fly with this. But I still do think that it holds true, that there are cells within you that trust you or don't trust you. And they make that decision based on one thing, and it's not fucking usury, it's history. Right? We talked about the shells yesterday, and by the way, they are a form of keratin. That it's calcified history, that the salt inside of you is your betrayal and your championing of yourself. The flotsam and jetsam of the relationships that you have with different people is really showing you the ledger of all that trust usury. Whether it be with your family, your parents, your partner, your boss, your friends, all of that is showing you your matrix, your ledger, right? Your trust usury. And when you see that ledger, you are either going to feel good or bad based on your history. I feel awkward because for 18 minutes I was talking like a fucking idiot and there's no sound coming out. I've done a lot worse, by the way, so this is like a nice... Seriously, this is like an oasis from some of the shit I do that embarrasses myself. But that experience itself is not intrinsically good or bad. The betrayal that you've given yourself from your own trust is not necessarily good or bad. And if you fall into this trap, this subjective trap, you are going to think that virginity is a one-time thing. And the Greeks didn't think that, did they? The Parthenon, the Parthenia, right? The essence of you, your essential virginity is something that's built up. And you prime this by drawing a circle. You cast your circle, and inside that circle, you clean the fuck out of it. You clean that. You're casting a spell when you're cleaning your house. You're saying to the environment that your pranic field is 2 meters. What does that mean? Because you're sitting on the couch and you had enough calories to just fucking clean up just what's around you. But 3 meters out, it's a shit show, right? Dog hair clinging to the bottom of the cushion, whatever it is. But if you were to step back, you would see, oh, look at my field. You would see your field. You would see how strong or weak your field is based on what's around you. What is around me? This is a better environment. I have coffee with pencil sharpener. I have 3 candles. I have a ledger. But I just cleaned this place, so I'm looking all sparkly and good because I'm trying to move downstairs. These economies that we have are more with yourself than they are with anyone else. And the only reason why you see them is because the witness of others is really a mirror. It's giving you that reflection. So why would you trust me? More importantly, what does it say to tell people don't trust that person? Because when you hear someone even saying that to you, what they're really saying is, hey, your intuition is not to be trusted. You need to trust me telling you what to trust and what not to trust. And these are always followed up with, don't trust him, don't trust man, trust the Bible. But Romans 13.1 is nothing but a glory hole to Caesar and Rome. That passage itself, there's no fucking way that would be anything healthy at all. That kind of usury is what we had to break out of to even form what we think are countries right now. That England itself violated the Bible blasphemously by going against Romans 13.1. Started their own government. But the Bible tells you that's wrong. And you're not supposed to trust anyone, not even yourself. You're supposed to trust the Bible. And that's why James is a Luciferian. Because he's telling you that you shouldn't trust the Bible. And that means he's evil. And the whole thing just builds itself. You've got this beautiful, beautiful castle now. And you can put your princess in top. You can wrap your dragon tail around it. It doesn't matter. You have an environment now. You have a player state on the field. It's an agreement you've made. And it makes your life easier. Do you know what? The reason why bullying happens, it's because the moment a victim finds a bully, their life becomes alive. The moment you find someone bullying you, that your entire essence matters now. That the first thing a bully does is say that you matter, that you are worthy of attention, and that attention is abuse. And that abuse is going to show you that you are alive, and it's going to make you choose how much of your trust you're going to keep secreting blindly. And the victim doesn't see this, not because they're weak, although they are weak, not because they're a victim, although they are a victim. The victim doesn't see that because it's profitable. Because the electrical state of moving from feeling unworthy to sovereign is going to require some training wheels. You're going to need help to get from I feel worthless to I am worthy of standing up for myself. And these phases in between, the steps that you take from one to the other, are going to require you to seek help from outside yourself. And the help that you seek is not going to be something that you ask for politely. That your prana economy takes over because it knows how important it is that you energetically survive, and will insert itself and create a prana economy with someone else to give you what you need. And that literally is your gut. That your gut will make you enter into a bully agreement because it fucking knows what that will do to you. It knows that that is what you need to raise yourself off the ground. You need to be violated. You need to practice some trust usury. Someone just... These systems that we set up. The reason why you don't trust your gut is because your gut has a different motivation than you do. Your motivation is comfort. Your gut's motivation is your growth. And the reason why you should trust your gut is not because your gut is right. No. It's because your gut is going to make the wrong decisions for you that are exactly the right wrong decisions to make. That it knows how to put you on your ass when you need to sit the fuck down, and it knows how to get you off your ass when you need to stand up. It understands the economy that you require to feel comfortable enough to function. And this is no different than walking a toddler up to school. Maybe the word isn't toddler, but you want your child to be able to walk by himself to the school. And when you do this, the first few times you do that, you will walk alongside them and you will walk very slow. And that this guide inside you, your gut inside you, is not here to make sure you don't fall. He's here to make sure that you don't fall in the wrong place. He's here to make sure that you do fall when the opportunity presents itself in a very easy to case situation. And that's truly what your gut's doing. And you can talk to your gut, that your gut will relinquish more authority to you when he finds that you can hold that field comfortably. And so every single moment of your life, you are on point. Whether you know it or not, you are on point. Now we have this concept that you're only on point when you go to church. And that you can steal whatever you want, and you can run whatever you want, you can break whatever you want. It doesn't matter as long as you're holy in church. That's why we invented church. Is it gave us that break. It's like, Jesus, man, can I, no pun intended, sorry Jesus, but Jesus, man, can I get a break? Yes, you can. All you got to do is pretend that everything happens holy in the church. Therefore, everything outside the church is what? What? And this is how most of our prana economies work, but we're too ashamed to point them out. The fact that the word glory hole even exists proves my point. That there is an even concept out there. And most of us know this concept. Maybe one of you is like, hey, what is a glory hole? And someone please help him or her. Help them out. I'm not going to explain that. But it's the same kind of proof that we have. God didn't sign the Bible. Jesus never once touched, held, read, reviewed, subscribed to the New Testament. Not once. And if you keep insisting that the way to truth is to trust the Bible, you don't know what typology means. You don't know that Jonah was Cepheus. You don't understand the importance of metaphor and symbolism. And you don't know the raw, exposed truth of Romans 13. You're blocking that out. And you're blocking that out because you're looking for objective truth, because you do not want to be on point 24 hours a day. That is hard work. It's like being self-employed. And you don't want to be self-employed. You want to have a fucking job. Because when you go to work, you don't even have to focus. You only have to focus when people are looking at you. You can check whatever you want. You can go for a bathroom break that's 18 minutes long if you want. No one's watching you unless they're watching you. And that gives you the same high that you would get if you had a bully. It transmutes your entire reality to I am alive when the bully is around, which deep down makes you want that bully. This new world is not going to be for everybody. That's why there's an exit door called COVID-19. And that your gut has that exit. And if your gut sees that you are not coping with the penumbra of this fucking corona, it will check you the fuck out. And it will give you an excuse. And it will call you a hero as it takes you. That Grim Reaper on that card, that Economist Tarot layout, is a guide. It's a holy angel. And we used to know this concept. We used to know the journey through the underworld because our psyche, our unconscious, guided us there. And your heart is weighed next to a feather. All of these archetypes are right here. And this idea when you stopped pretending when you were a child, and you stopped pretending because it got hard, it wasn't fun anymore. You could tell you were faking it. And it made you sad because you were losing your power of imagination, that ability to form a mystique around you, a reality bubble that was so freaking clear that it changed the environment around you. And that mud puddle that you're playing in was the planet Dagobah. And that the rain coming down was the bombs of the enemy pelting you, asking you, do you have what it takes to survive? And that bully of the bad guy is like a bellow that's pumping your heart and waking you the fuck up. You need that Darth Vader because it's the only thing keeping you alive. You're not going to be able to see prana economy if you keep thinking in terms of good and evil. Your vision, your perspective vision, is not going to be able to render into your retinal cavities how the world looks on an energetic level if you're still caught in this two-party system of good and evil, of red and blue. That those two systems are effective, they're not lies, they're a legitimate reality at a legitimate vibration. A binary, digital, mechanical world of things that are either good or evil or 1 or 0 or Republican or Democrat. That system is important because look around. People in their cockpits, people that you think are in charge of their body, are sitting in the booster seat in a shopping cart, and their gut is pushing them through the store. It's not them, it's their gut. And the ones that have not earned enough trust from their gut have no control over what they do. And all they can do is try and grab things on the shelf that appeal to them as their gut drives by. Their entire world doesn't even involve the transaction of paying for these things. It's simply a case of I want or I don't want. I like or I don't like. And these people are running the world that you live in. They're not good, they're not evil, they're simply not in charge of their cart. When you can start to see past this idea, you will find that even flat Earth has an entire dimension that opens up to you because you're no longer staring through this objectivity straw. That there has to be a Luciferian, or there has to be a bully. Because you outgrow the bully when you have enough self-worth. And when you feel that self-worth, you can spin that plasma in your retina by rendering the empathy of those around you. Now you're cooking with fucking gas. Because you're no longer having to waste all those calories legitimizing or delegitimizing someone based off whether or not they deserve your blind, usury trust. Because you don't do that anymore. Because your glory hole is closed. You still get it on, but it's only with people you trust, which makes that sex even deeper. And you start to feel titillated without even touching them, because you know who they are. And this piece of sex standing next to you trusts you, and you earned it. And now you have a witness that's showing you what you're worth. It's still a crutch, but fuck, it's beautiful. And go for it. Couples and relationships are the perfect system to co-create vitriol inside of. There's nothing wrong with that. Keep trusting your gut and stop expecting it to be focused on your comfort. It wants you to be a badass. It doesn't want you comfortable. And the last thing it's going to do is step out and say, hey, James, I think you should really maybe reconsider and not trust that guy. No. It's happy to let you fall on your ass. It's happy to watch. It trusts you enough to do that. All right. I think the whole thing works right here, sound-wise. Again, I'd rather do the show upstairs, but like I said, we had our first snow. And, yeah. You guys have a great day. I'm going to get back to writing. And I got something cool to show you. Holy fuck, I got something cool to show you. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. The reason I would show you right now, but I know that if I showed you the drawings, which I've got prepared in a slide for tomorrow, it'll make a lot more sense. Please don't miss tomorrow. I know that sounds like a shitty cliffhanger, but there's a reason why we use the caduceus and not the hang on, just give me a sec. Cool your jets, you. Call me a frickin' rookie. Asclepius. There's a reason why we don't use the rod of Asclepius, and instead use the caduceus. And I'm already blowing it, but the caduceus itself actually is a symbol of commerce, not medicine. I can't wait to show you this. There's just a little bit of history. That's why that's the only reason why I'm putting this off. Is because I think the slides will just make it snap more for you. So I can't wait to show you that. Guys, no one is lying to you. What you're looking at in the world is everyone's gut making a pranic agreement with everyone else. Remember, this is a shared fantasy. Reality is a shared co-created fantasy. And I mean fantasy in the truest word. The most powerful word in the world is fantasy. That reality bubble that you used to be able to command would completely warp space and time around you and put you into a different universe. It was so powerful that your friends would get sucked in too. Your brother, your sister, they would get sucked in too. They'd be, holy shit. Sometimes you'd be in the car and you were playing with your plane and you see another kid in another car, and now that kid is fucking in the air flying with you. That's how powerful that is. These things don't go away. We put down these magic wands, but they don't go away. Some of you, they emerge in the artist. All of us are artists. Most of us just don't admit it. We're too ashamed to admit that we're artists. When you get past this idea, this binary idea of good and evil, you can start to paint your retinas with the coat of many colors of everyone around you, what they feel, what they don't feel. Because you're no longer looking at if they are right or if they're wrong. You're simply understanding their feelings. By the frickin' way. You know, this Eye of Ra stuff that I did, if you haven't seen that video, please check it out, because it's showing you that consciousness is wired backwards. It occurred to me that the reason why none of us would even consider this idea that I have, again, it's not because I think that I've discovered something no one else has discovered. It's because the idea of evolution built into science would preclude you to never once consider the teleology of this idea. Sorry, I'm talking in big ass words. Teleology is like something is designed, and you know by looking at it that it has design. That if you were to find this in the middle of a desert, that you would be able to pull the cap off and discern that this needle, this pen is a needle, holy shit, that's a whole other thing. But that this instrument was made. It didn't grow, it was made. The same way with shells. That this, you know what, we'll wait for this, because it's tied in with the caduceus. You guys, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. And paint your retinas with empathy, not with right or wrong. Clear the black and white, and start to throw some color in there, you know. Pull some Bob Ross, you know. By the way, it's Bob Ross's birthday. There's a 24-hour marathon on YouTube. Do a search for Bob Ross, and you can watch Bob Ross today. You are freaking welcome for that tip right there. All right, guys, have a good one. And James out. Let's see if this outro works. What you're calling evil, is just something you can't afford to give empathy to. That's it. And the only reason why you can't afford to give empathy to that is because you think compassion is equal to consent. But when you extend your compassion to something, all the evil disappears because you understand their motivation. You understand that that motivation came from a lack of having a good pilot, and that that person's gut had to do something to save themselves, to literally survive. And when you start to see through those kinds of eyes at compassion, you see everything. Everything.